Hey guys, what's good? Mike here. Thanks for tuning in to another video. So much to talk about now that I'm shooting videos again. Got a long list of topics and things that I want to talk about. Can't even get them out fast enough. By the way, appreciate all the love I'm getting in the comments and welcome back messages from folks. Took a little hiatus from shooting videos, but I'm inspired to just do more videos and start talking about the things that I'm a part of and things that I love. So I appreciate that. For those of you who are new to my channel, subscribe to my channel because I'm gonna be putting out a lot more content. Hopefully you get some nuggets from these. But somebody shot me a comment in one of my last videos. Mike, talk about the full stack designer. This is interesting because this was not necessarily something that I was going to talk about, but it's been something that's been lurking and something that's been spewing, and it is a part of what I'm going through at the moment. And I believe in just talking about the full stack designer and the design industry as a whole. I want to talk about that. I want to talk about the full stack designer and where I see the industry going. Because we always got to be looking at trends. We always got to be looking at what's the foreseeable future, like just logically what's happening, right? The full stack designer, in short, the full stack designer, somebody said, Mike, can you speak on that? Essentially, if you look at my last video, one of my last videos, when I say what does a UX designer do, I actually explain essentially what a full stack designer is. I'm a full stack designer, except I'm not hands-on today working within HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, okay? A full stack designer is essentially somebody that is a unicorn designer, is somebody, essentially all the things that I preach. You know, I've been preaching this for years. Visual UI design and a strong understanding of UX design principles and methods. And what I have not been preaching, and I preached it earlier in my career, was HTML, CSS, and now JavaScript. Okay, I'm not teaching JavaScript because I'm not proficient in JavaScript. I am currently learning JavaScript because I see this as the future. In a nutshell, a full stack designer is somebody that is highly proficient in visual UI design, UX design, a full understanding of that, and highly proficient in HTML and CSS as well as JavaScript. In addition to just working with front-end frameworks, okay? And having a nice foundation base of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript and things like that will allow you to learn all these other front-end, frameworks pretty easily, these front-end things. So you learn a good base of JavaScript, you can learn, get proficient in jQuery, and then you can roll off that and learn, React and Angular or whatever, right? And get more deeper into it. You can also, once you have a base of JavaScript, you can learn PHP pretty easy, and so you can just continue to grow your skill set. And what am I talking about? I'm talking about, I see the future, in my opinion, and things have changed, and let's talk about this. I see the future in that in order to make yourself more valuable, these are the skill sets, in my opinion, that you need to focus on in order to sustain a strong value in this market and what we love. Okay? Things change over time. Back in the day, I was just a webmaster, all right? And then I learned HTML, CSS, and I was doing websites and stuff. And then this thing called UI designer came up. I'm like, what's a UI designer? Oh, somebody that does like web design stuff for like software. I'm like, cool, I can do that. So I molded into a UI designer around 2006. I started to get familiar with this phrase called UX design. What's UX design? Oh, it's the process of designing with a user-centered perspective and really studying how users interact with the applications. Oh, it was my first time sitting in a user test and whatnot. And so I started getting involved around 2006, getting involved in the product development cycle as a designer. And so I basically was a UI designer with highly proficient, and I grew, and to this day I consider myself an expert in UX design. Now, in short, when I explain what a UX designer is, and my nose is itching, by the way, sorry about that, but when I explain what a UX designer is, I get not backlash, but you know, there's feelings from the UX research group, interaction or information architect, HCI, human computer interaction, like folks, you know, UX research, like full-on folks who've studied and gone to school and studied human computer interaction, HCI, human computer interaction. When they kind of look, because I'm kind of coming in from a different angle, I kind of, in a roundabout way, don't give that side enough credit. Like, I'll say, yeah, I'm a UX designer, you know, UX design is just this is it. So it kind of like, not hurt some feelings, but it's, you kind of take some shots, right, at people, and some people, you know, Mike, you're not really speaking on what a UX designer is and so forth. In a nutshell, and whatever you can get into the differences of opinions on titles and what it all, I'm an expert when it comes to UX design, okay? I consider myself an expert. Why do I consider myself an expert? It's because I have a high proficient understanding and knowledge on any methods and process within UX design, okay? I've been there, I studied it for the past 10, 12 years, okay? You can test me, you can sit me down, you can talk to me, hear my logical thoughts, and talk to me about every single step in the UX design process. So I'm an expert at UX design. I'm an expert in UI design, okay? I know all the UI design tools. I'm not the best designer in the world, but I consider myself an expert in visual UI design, prototyping, whatever. I'm highly proficient in HTML and CSS. I'm not proficient in JavaScript, okay? So I'm growing in that. I'm actually teaching myself that right now. The point that I'm trying to make is, the stuff that I described to you, I think in a nutshell, we're gonna hear the term product designer a little bit more. I think that's the right term, because if we're going to if I'm going to separate myself and not want to clash all the time with like human computer interaction experts and degrees and things like that, I should label myself maybe as a product designer. And I'm totally fine with that. I don't care what you label me as. My skill set is my skill set, okay? And so when I learn JavaScript and become proficient in JavaScript and jQuery and React and all those things down the road. Now, I'm not learning them overnight. It's gonna take 6 months, a year or two of me just gradually growing in those fields to become highly proficient in those areas. I don't care what you call me, my skill set is gonna be my skill set. And that particular skill set, in my opinion, is the most valuable skill set that we as UI UX designers can grow into. Now we can call ourselves product designer, and that's probably that might be the term, full stack designer, that might be the term that people use. That's kind of like too technical right now, but that entire skill set is the most valuable skill set, in my opinion, for what we do, and to keep ourselves at a high value for companies going forward. Now, like I said, things change. Today, companies still separate these groups. They still hire UX designers, UI designers, UX researchers, front-end developers. Okay, they understand. They hire these people. But you cannot tell me right now, I'm actually moving into a development group within ADP because I have an opportunity to grow into this in-house framework that we use, front-end framework, and learn and become more valuable to ADP with my existing skill set as UI UX and my nice strong foundation of front-end. I'm going to be growing into a full stack designer per se at ADP. And That right there in a nutshell, you can't tell me, even though today companies are hiring individual titles, you can't tell me logically that a full stack designer, someone that I just explained, UI, UX, front end, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and a strong, proficient understanding of those areas, can tell me that that person, it's only logical that that person is invaluable to any company right now in tech and going forward over the next 5 to 10 years. You cannot tell me that. So based on that, that's where the future is. That's where we need to be thinking. Now, over the past, in my videos, I speak a lot of good stuff, but times change. People will say, Mike, one of your videos, you said, pick and discipline and stick to it. I agree to that. Why? Because you cannot learn everything at the same time. You should just focus on one area for several months and then focus on the other area. You can't, like trying to play guitar, you ever try to like learn guitar? I'm still failing at that. That's one of my other goals. I want to learn guitar, but if you skip ahead and try to learn too much, you're not going to get good at really holding the strings down and just playing just the basics, right? You got to focus on one thing. So what I say, if you want to become, you know, if you're just now starting in this area and you want to learn all the stuff that I'm talking about, start with one thing. Maybe you focus on HTML, CSS for 6 months and you get pretty proficient at that. Then you learn JavaScript for the next 6 months and you get, you know, understanding of that. Then you grow into want to become a UI designer and you start for the next 6 months after that, focus only on UI design. And then after that, you start to study UX design. Everybody's different. Maybe you start with UI design. That's what I would do. I would start with UI design, get an understanding of UX, growing into some HTML, JavaScript, and so forth. And you know, but you spend months working on a particular discipline to get better at. Okay, don't work yourself up and there's too much to learn. You try to learn it all at once, you'll get overwhelmed. You know, we got new tools out there that makes it easy for us. You know, I'm an expert when it comes to HTML, CSS, but I'm using Webflow. You know, Webflow is a highly sophisticated WYSIWYG that allows me the aches and pains of, you know, writing characters over and over again. Why can't I just design it within Webflow and export my code for me, you know? And that's what these frameworks, when you look at these tech companies out there, these tech companies are all using these different frameworks. At ADP, we built our own in-house front-end framework. You know, frameworks are easily used components that you can drag and build. It's like, it's hard to explain. I'll explain it in another video, but it's stuff that's allowing us to do our job a little bit easier, more proficiently, but you still need a little foundation of that, you know. So depending, the tools will come and go. Like I said, the tools will come and go, but the foundation and understanding of these skills will make you an invaluable asset as a designer for years and years and years and years and years to come. Not to mention, I'll talk about this later, growing these skills and then parlaying them into your entrepreneurial endeavors, becoming a digital marketer, selling your own products, growing your own, building your own apps, you know, your own software. I mean, the outlook is endless if we focus on these skills that I'm talking about. Okay, I mean, you can see like the potential for you and I and everyone else who wants to get in this is to earn good money, make good money at a particular job, and then parlay those skills and network into growing that, building your own thing and becoming whoever you want to be and growing and making millions, right? Doing whatever. But these skill sets that I'm talking about are invaluable. All right, thanks for watching, guys. Like I said, video's almost at 15 minutes. I want to keep it short. I know I went on too long. I thought it was gonna be like a 7-minute video, but so much to talk about. I can talk to you guys for probably an hour. Don't want to bore you right now, but until the next video, thanks for watching, thanks for commenting, liking, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And as always, if you have any questions, visit my website, mlwebco.com. Use the contact link page on my site and shoot me any questions you have. Be happy to answer them for you. Talk soon, guys. Peace.